morning all of you. Welcome to Ashwik Educational Academy. Now we are going to discuss about remaining features of Vedic education. Already we discussed the 5 features of Vedic education. Now we let us know about the Vedic education fully, totally. Actually, Vedic education is one of the backbone of our educational system. Most of the learning aspects, teaching aspects, and knowledge, everything we got from the Vedic education. Especially our traditions, culture, moral values, ethical principles, spiritual development, holistic development. This everything we got from a Vedic education. So Vedic education is one of the most important of our educational system, whatever is going in the present situation. Means every student should know about the system of education in the Vedic period. So from this topic in DSC examination, compulsory more than 5 questions are coming. And the previous examination more than 5 questions came. That is the reason every student, those who are preparing for the DSC, that every student should understand, should know about the Vedic education. So let us discuss. Sixth point, teacher-student relationship. Actually, in the Vedic educational system, the teacher-student relationship is very respectful and also very cordial, and also there is a bondage in between the teacher and student. Means that bondage means what? That bondage like parents and children. The teacher is looking the children as his children. Means he is take care of the children. He is giving all knowledge which is very useful in their future. Means the teacher is making child as a future citizen, and also he is giving the all-rounder development. All-rounder development means comprehensive knowledge the Guru was giving in the Vedic period. That is the reason in the Vedic period, the people were following the rules and regulations, ethical principles, moral values, religious aspects, and moreover they were very good people in the society, good citizens in the society, because the Guru was making like that. So okay, so Vedic period lo Guru ante Guru Shishya sambandham anedi చాలా బాండేజ్ ఉండేది. వాళ్ళిద్దరి మధ్య ఉండే బాండేజ్ ఎలా ఉండేదంటే, ఒక పేరెంట్స్ కి వాళ్ళ పిల్లలకి ఉన్నటువంటి రిలేషన్ ఎలా ఉండేదో అలా ఉండేది. సో స్టూడెంట్స్ were giving more respect to the teacher, Guru, and Guru also more care of the children in every aspect. Okay, so Guru was highly respected and played a parental role. Education was personalized with the students learning at their own pace. See, here one point we have to remember, that the Guru was highly respected person in the society. Means after the God, Guru was very important person in the society. First of the people believing the God, after the God believing the Guru. But the Guru, whatever the Guru was saying, that is the right, that is the ultimate real. Okay, at the same time the students are learning at their own pace, at their own wish, and at their own speed, at their own capacities. Means here the education is personalized. Education was personalized. Means you understand practical learning. Actually, in a Vedic period, theoretical and practical both type of education was getting by the students. Why? Because theoretical and the teacher Guru was giving oral explanation about the different types of the subject, like Vedas, Vedangas, philosophy. At the same time, he was giving the practical knowledge of the society and agricultural activities, and whatever the situations are happening in that environment, that everything given by the Guru in the Vedic period. So the Guru was giving practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. Both students are getting. Education was not just theoretical but included warfare, agriculture, and trade. So, Kshatriyas learning about warfare means that is also practical aspect. Means Kshatriyas students selfly their own they were participating in the warfare activities, dramas and natakas and like that situations the guru was creating in that situations really they were participating. And agriculture and trading, the agriculture and trading activities also created by the gurus are happened by in the situation. In that situation the students were participating. Ethical debates and discussions were encouraged. At the same time, ethical discussions and ethical debates, discussions also taking place in the AD period. Okay, so this is the teacher-student relationship and practical learning. So next one, social hierarchy. It is very important. Actually, here we have to discuss about the two phases of the Vedic period. One early Vedic period from 1500 to 1000 and later Vedic period. That is 1000 to 50, 1000 to 600, 1000 to 600. Means the social hierarchy in the early Vedic period was very cooperative and very togetherness. Means in the early Vedic period, four classes means Brahmins, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, Shudras. These four categories of the people were living cooperatively and with helping and also in their togetherness. And also the exchanging their materials, exchanging their things is going place. Means here there was no discrimination in between the four categories. All are equal in the society. These categories also divided into as per their occupations, as per their work. Why? Because first category Brahmins. Brahmins were performing the priestly duties and teaching and give explanation about the philosophical thoughts, pujas, yagas, yajnas. This type of the works done by the Brahmins. And next Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas were performing the ruling activities. They were ruling the people. They were looking after the kingdom. They were participating the warfare activities. These are works done by the Kshatriyas. And Vaishyas. Vaishyas were participating in commerce, trade means business. All the business activities were looking by the Vaishyas. And fourth category, Shudras. Shudras were participating in occupational works. Shudras. These are the occupational works. Occupational works means especially pots making, carpenting, tailoring, agricultural activities. These all are looking by the Shudras. So Shudras were making different types of the things, different types of the tools. So these tools are useful for the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Brahmins. In this way, they are cooperatively, togetherly living without no any discrimination. That society was very peaceful and happy. But after the early Vedic period, means duration of the 1000 years, and in the later Vedic period, the total the total scenario of society changed because of Manu's classification. Because of Manu's classification. Manu's classification. It is very important. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎర్లీ ఏజిక్ పీరియడ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఆ పీస్ఫుల్నెస్, హ్యాపీనెస్, ఆ టుగెదర్నెస్, కోఆపరేటివ్ అనేది లేదు. ఎందుకు అంటే మనం క్లాసిఫైడ్ ద పీపుల్ ఇంటూ 4 categories, 4 classes అకార్డింగ్ టు దేర్ బర్త్. not according to their occupation, according to their birth. He classified the people into four classes. That four classes means this classification brought drastic changes in the society, and this classification brought discrimination in between the people in the society. So, because of that classification, Shudras became a low category and servants slaves. Let us see. Here, Manu classified the Brahmanas. Brahmanas, according to Brahmin means birth. Brahmanas took birth from the Brahma's head. Brahma's head. Brahmanas born from the Brahma's head. Brahma tala nundi puttarani. Next, Kshatriyas. Brahma's shoulder. And Vaishyas. Brahma's thighs. And Shudras. Brahma's feet. Okay. So, he gave the importance of the each class according to their birth. Brahmas born from the head of the Brahma. Brahmanas born from the head of the Brahma. So they are very high people, high status people. They are getting a high status in the society. They are very important in the society. Only the yajnasu, yagasu, priestly duties, pujas, teaching, education, everything is offered for them only. Means in the society, they are very highly status people. Highly status people. Dominated people. And next, Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas born from the Brahma's shoulder. Means in this place. Means that is the courage. Through this courage, they were taking the part of the ruling. They were looking the people, they were looking the kingdom, they are participating the warfare. That. So these category of the people also highly status people in the society. They are also getting importance in the society. And the next Vaishyas, they came from Brahma's thighs. These business activities. They were looking the business activities, so these people also very important in the society. And the last class, Shudras, feet. Means in the body parts, feet is very low part. Means low means very low status. They are getting the low status in the society. In this classification, Shudras status. Shudras means Shudras level of the living, the livelihood, everything is decayed. Moreover, Shudras were not allowed to get education in the later Vedic period. Very important. Why? Because in the early Vedic period, everybody are equal, everybody are allowed to get the education. Everybody are going to formal educational system. Gurus near the Gurus. But during the later Vedic period, Shudras were not allowed to get the education because in the society they were very low status people. In this classification, Shudras became slaves, servants for the remaining three classes of the people. In this way, their status, their position, their way of the life, everything was declined. So there is a much discrimination, much difference in between the four classes, especially that three classes and Shudras. So in this way, Shudras after that ఈ Shudras అనేటటువంటి వాళ్ళు చాలా లో క్లాస్కి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళకి ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లేక వాళ్ళు స్లేవ్స్గా సర్వెంట్స్గా అయిపోయి తర్వాత వాళ్ళ పొజిషన్ అనేది చాలా తక్కువ స్థాయికి వెళ్ళిపోవడం జరిగింది. సో ఇదంతా ఎందుకు జరిగిందంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది Manu's classification. Okay, this is the hierarchy of the social society in the Vedic period, in the early Vedic period, later Vedic period. ఇక్కడ మీరు స్టూడెంట్స్ చాలా క్లారిటీగా తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన విషయం ఏంటంటే ఇన్ ద ఎర్లీ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్ శూద్రాస్ వర్ ఆల్సో allowed to get the education knowledge like other categories of the people, but in the later Vedic period Shudras were not allowed to get the education or knowledge because they became very low status in the society. Okay, this is the final. And the next very important one more thing, role of women. Here women, here also we discuss in both phases, early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Early Vedic period and later Vedic period. In the early Vedic period, the women enjoyed a respectful position in the society, and women allowed to get education knowledge like men. That education, getting education also totally her chance, her wish. Means if she want to, she can get education up to the to her death. Means throughout her life. Otherwise, until the marriage, she can get education. After marriage, stopping the education and participating in the family activities. Means in the early Vedic period, the education, getting education is totally one of the freedom for the women. It means what in early Vedic period, the women were getting the high education, high knowledge, higher education, higher knowledge, and like when they were participating in intellectual seminars, intellectual debates, yajnas, yagas, spiritual ceremonies and rituals. So like men, they were participating in all activities, even in agricultural activities also. So here in the early Vedic period, woman is equal to men. Women is equal to men. There is no gender discrimination in early Vedic period. But after the early Vedic period, in the later Vedic period, the Parda system was emerged in the society. Parda system. Here. Parda system. Because of this Parda system, the women are not allowed to go outside. This is a reason the women were not getting education, not allowed to get education. They were performing only the household activity. She totally became as housewife. Okay, so that is the drastic change in between the early Vedic period and later Vedic period. From this topic, in previous examination, 2-3 questions. Actually, in the early Vedic period, women were free to get education, whatever her wish. Means throughout their life, they can get the education. If the woman was getting throughout their life high knowledge, higher education, then it is called as the Brahmavadini. It is called as the Brahmavadini. And second category of the women also are there in the educational aspect. Shadjuvahas means women, if we get education until the marriage, that is called the Swadhyavahas. So 2 types of the educated women were seen in the early Vedic period. Okay. So you see description. Women enjoyed a respectful position in society during the early Vedic period. This respected position only in the early Vedic period, not in the later Vedic period. You have to remember. They considered equal to men in many aspects, including education and intellectual pursuits. Means whatever the intellectual pursuits, means seminars, discussions, ceremonies, rituals. In every aspect of education, women also equal like men. Women were encouraged to study the Vedas, philosophy and other disciplines. Girls underwent formal education similar to boys. It is very, very important. In early Vedic periods, philosophical thoughts, other disciplines, mathematics, medicine, astronomy. This every aspect, every discipline she has to get. Girls underwent formal education similar to men. అంటే ఫార్మల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటే గురువు దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి చదువుకునేటటువంటి ఒక సిస్టమ్ ఉండేది కదా, ఆ సిస్టమ్ లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసేటటువంటి రైట్ బాయ్స్ తో పాటు గర్ల్స్ కూడా ఉండేది ఎర్లీ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్. కానీ అది లేటర్ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్ వచ్చేది డిక్లీన్ అయిపోయింది. నెక్స్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఉమెన్ స్టేటస్ ని కొంచెం మనం చూసినట్లయితే, ఉమెన్ వర్ ఎంగేజ్డ్ ఇన్ ఆల్ ఫ్యామిలీ అండ్ అగ్రికల్చరల్ యాక్టివిటీస్. They were getting practical educational skills and training for different agricultural practices like milking cows. That is called the duhita. Means actually this duhita is very important word. Means actually not only intellectual pursuits, intellectual celebrations. In agricultural activities also, women were participating freely without any restrictions. So agricultural practice, through the participating in agricultural activity, women were getting the practical knowledge about the agriculture. మీన్స్ అగ్రికల్చరల్ యాక్టివిటీ చాలా ఉంటాయి కదా, నాట్లు వేయడం, కుప్పను వరపడం, మిల్కింగ్ అంటే పాలు పితకడం, ఆవుల నుండి గేదెల నుండి పాలు పితకడం, ఇలాంటి అన్ని యాక్టివిటీస్లో ఉమెన్ పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసేది, వాటి గురించి నేర్చుకునేది కూడా. అంటే అబౌట్ ద ప్రాక్టికల్ నాలెడ్జ్ షీ వాస్ గెట్టింగ్ through the education. Okay, so the girl who is milking cows is called the duhita. This is the Sanskrit word. This is the Sanskrit word. Du means milk. Du means milk, and this hita means draw. To draw. To means the girl or daughter who is మిల్కింగ్ ద కౌ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ద దుహిత. అంటే ఆ పాలు ఎలా తీయాలి అనేటటువంటి ఒక ప్రాక్టికల్ నాలెడ్జ్ పొందేటటువంటి అమ్మాయిని దుహిత అని అంటారు. అప్పుడు అగ్రికల్చర్ సంబంధించినటువంటి అన్ని యాక్టివిటీస్ ని పిల్లలకంటే ఆడపిల్లలు కూడా నేర్పించేవాళ్ళు. సో ఇట్ ఉమెన్ ప్లేడ్ వైటల్ రోల్ ఇన్ అగ్రికల్చరల్ యాక్టివిటీస్. అంటే ఇక్కడ మనకి దీన్ని బట్టి మనకి ఏమర్థమవుతుందంటే ఉమెన్ కూడా అగ్రికల్చరల్ అన్ని యాక్టివిటీస్ లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసేది. బ్రాహ్మిన్స్, బ్రహ్మవాదినీస్, దుహిత అండ్ బ్రహ్మవాదినీస్ ఆల్రెడీ మనం దీని గురించి చెప్పుకున్నాం. బ్రహ్మవాదినీస్ రిఫర్స్ టు ఉమెన్ ఇన్ ancient Vedic times who were well versed in the Vedas and dedicated their lives to pursue knowledge and wisdom and spirituality. అంటే throughout her life, if she got knowledge or education about Vedas, Vedangas, rituals, religious aspects, this everything is called the Brahmavadini. Brahmavadini అంటే ఏంటంటే రకరకాలైనటువంటి విషయాల గురించి, రకరకాలైనటువంటి డిసిప్లిన్స్ గురించి నాలెడ్జ్ పొందినటువంటి, అంటే త్రూ అవుట్ దేర్ లైఫ్, అంటే మ్యారేజ్ లేకుండా, మ్యారేజ్ చేసుకోకుండా మొత్తం తన లైఫ్ ని నాలెడ్జ్ ని పొందడానికి, ఆ నాలెడ్జ్ ని షేర్ చేయడానికి యూజ్ చేసేటటువంటి ఒక స్టేజ్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఉమెన్, అలాంటి ఉమెన్ మనం బ్రహ్మవాదిని అని అంటాం. అంటే వీళ్ళు నోటబుల్ ఫిమేల్ స్కాలర్స్ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ గార్గి, మైత్రి అండ్ లోకముద్ర. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా బ్రహ్మవాదినిస్ గా పిలువబడినటువంటి ఉమెన్ వేదిక్ పీరియడ్ లో. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా మెన్ లాగా, అంటే పురుషుల మాదిరి వీళ్ళు కూడా రకరకాలైనటువంటి డిసిప్లిన్స్ గురించి నేర్చుకోవడం, రకరకాలైనటువంటి విషయాల గురించి నేర్చుకోవడం, ఫుల్లీ నాలెడ్జ్ ని పొందినటువంటి ఉమెన్. వాళ్ళు అనేక రకాలైనటువంటి సెమినార్స్ లో కూడా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. సద్యోజాహాస్ ఉమెన్ హూ రిసీవ్డ్ బేసిక్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అంటిల్ మ్యారేజ్ అండ్ దెన్ ఫోకస్డ్ ఆన్ ఫ్యామిలీ లైఫ్. అంటే సెకండ్ కేటగిరీ ఆఫ్ ది ఉమెన్ కూడా ఉన్నారు అప్పట్లో. అంటే వాళ్ళు ఎవరంటే మ్యారేజ్ అయ్యే వరకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పొంది, మ్యారేజ్ అయిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళు మ్యారేజ్ అంటే ఆ ఫ్యామిలీకి సంబంధించినటువంటి యాక్టివిటీస్ లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేస్తారు. పిల్లల్ని చూసుకోవడం, అత్తమామ చూసుకోవడం, భర్తను చూసుకోవడం, అంటే ఫ్యామిలీ ఒక హౌస్ వైఫ్ గా సెటిల్ అయిపోతారు అనమాట. అంటే ఆఫ్టర్ మ్యారేజ్ దే వర్ నాట్ గెటింగ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. దట్ ఈస్ సద్యోహాస్. These three words are very, very important. About these three words, there were questions in the previous examination. Brahmavadini, Sadyavahas, and Duhita. Okay, so this was the status in the early Vedic period. Okay. Next, Upanayana. In a Vedic period, both early Vedic period and later Vedic period, especially in the Hinduism, Upanayana ceremony was very very important. It is the beginning of learning, beginning of brahmacharya ani kuda anta, beginning of brahmacharya, beginning of learning. And means before actually this term Upanayana means leading near or referring to the student being led to the guru for learning. Near means Upanayana, the word enti ante actually Upanayana was Sanskrit word, leading near అంటే the child is going to nearby guru, and getting the knowledge. That is the Upanayana. Upanayana ceremony is different in different categories. Means Brahmanas, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, that we will discuss next. Upanayana actually this is the second birth. Upanayana is called as the second birth. Second birth means what? ఫస్ట్ బర్త్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఫిజికల్ బర్త్, మనం అమ్మ కడుపులో నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి ఫస్ట్ బర్త్. సెకండ్ బర్త్ మీన్స్ వాట్? వీఆర్ రెడీ టు గెటింగ్ ద ఎడ్యుకేషన్, రెడీ టు గెటింగ్ ద నాలెడ్జ్. మీన్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ పొందేటటువంటి ఆ దశ ఏదైతే ఉందో మనం దాన్ని సెకండ్ బర్త్ అంటే, అంటే జ్ఞానవంతుల్ని సెకండ్ బర్త్గా ఆ జ్ఞానం పొందేటటువంటి ద్విజులని అంటారు. సో ద్విజ ట్వైస్ బాండ్ అండ్ ఎంట్రన్స్ ఇన్ టు higher knowledge. This Upanayana is one of the way to entrance into the higher knowledge, higher education. Okay, traditionally performed for the three upper varnas, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Actually, later Vedic period, this Upanayana program was led by the three categories of the people in the society: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. So the adding age for Upanayana, Brahmanas 8 years, Kshatriyas 10 years and Vaishyas 12 years. Okay. After getting the 20 years of a child is completing this program of the Brahmacharya, means this educational system completing. That is అది ఆల్రెడీ మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాము. ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ ది Brahmacharya, after completion of the education learning, then that is called the Samvartana. Samvartana is the completion of education. The person who got the total education, total learning is called the Snanaka. Okay. In early Vedic period, women also underwent Upanayana ceremony. Later, women's participation in Upanayana declined and became mostly male-centric ritual. Already we discussed before that in early Vedic period, women were allowed to get the education. Means the Upanayana ceremony was led by the women also. Means ఈ Upanayana ceremony అనేది girls కూడా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. But after the early Vedic period, during the later Vedic period, there was no Upanayana program for the girls. It is only the boys. Only for the boys. It became a male-centric celebration ceremony. Okay. And so this is Upanayana program is very very important in Hindus, especially in Hindu system. This Upanayana program, through this Upanayana program, there was a ceremony, celebration. It is called as one of the festival in the Hindus families. Okay. ఇది ఒక ఫెస్టివల్ లాగా అంటే ఒక పూజారితో సెలబ్రేట్ చేయడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. The student received a sacred thread, యజ్ఞోపవిత. ఈ sacred thread జంజం అంటారు దీని తెలుగులో. sacred thread అనేది స్టూడెంట్ కి చైల్డ్ కి వేయడం జరుగుతుంది. అంటే దిస్ థ్రెడ్ స్టాట్స్ అంటే 3 స్టాట్స్. అంటే ద child who got this Yajnopavita, that child should perform the 3 types of the activities, means duties. Duty towards teacher, duty towards parents and ancestors, duty towards society and God. ఈ ఆ జంజం వేసుకున్నటువంటి యజ్ఞోపవిత అనేటటువంటి థ్రెడ్ వేసుకున్నటువంటి చైల్డ్ ఈ 3 డ్యూటీస్ ని కంపల్సరీ పర్ఫామ్ చేయవలసి ఉంటుంది. ద గురు ఇస్పర్డ్ ద గాయత్రి మంత్ర ఇన్ టు ద ఇయర్ signifying the beginning of Vedic learning. Means during the Upanayana program, Upanayana ceremony, the Guru was saying Gayatri mantra into the ear of the child. It was signifying the ready to get the education. అంటే రెడీ టు గెట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పొందడానికి రెడీ అయినటువంటి ఒక చైల్డ్ గా ఇది మనకి తెలియజేస్తుంది. ద స్టూడెంట్ ఆఫర్డ్ ఏ టోకెన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. మీన్స్ Upanayana is the beginning of the learning and Samvartana is ending of the learning. During the Samvartana program, the Shishya means the student was offering amount or any material, any things to the Guru. That is called the Guru Dakshina. And actually the Gurus were not taking any fees from the students. Freely they were giving education to the students. At that time, for the education, for the learning, there was no fee. But after completed the education, by the satisfaction of the student was offering something to the Guru. Very happily and very heartfully. That he was going through the heartfully. And it compulsory. It is not compulsory. యాజ్ పర్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ విష్ అనమాట. అంటే ఇంతకాలం గురువు దగ్గర తను నేర్చుకున్నటువంటి జ్ఞానానికి గాను, తను పొందినటువంటి ఎడ్యుకేషన్కి గాను, తను అంటే ఒక సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్తో హృదయపూర్వకంగా గురువుకి ఏదైనా ఇవ్వాలి అనేటటువంటి విధంగా, అంటే గుర్తుగా గురువుకి ఏదైనా సరే ఒక మెటీరియల్ కావచ్చు, అప్పుడు నాణ్యాలు కావచ్చు, ఏదో ఒక రూపంలో గురువుకి సమర్పించుకోవడం జరుగుతుంది. దాన్ని గురు దక్షిణ అని అంటారు. వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎందుకంటే ఈ గురుదక్షిణ అనేది గురువుకి ఇచ్చేటటువంటి ఒక రెస్పెక్ట్ గా, సొసైటీలో గురువుకు ఉన్నటువంటి ఒక హైయెస్ట్ పొజిషన్ గా మనం చెప్తాం. ఎందుకంటే మనం పొందిన దానికి మన సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ ని ఆ గురు దక్షిణ ద్వారా తెలియజేస్తాం అన్నమాట. ఓకే, సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ద గురు దక్షిణ. ద స్టూడెంట్ ఆఫర్ ఎ టోకెన్ ఆఫ్ గ్రాటిట్యూడ్ టు ద గురు టీచర్ after completing their education is known as Guru Dakshina. It is also very important. About this also the question came in the previous examination. It symbolizes the Guru Shishya bond and reinforce duty, gratitude and respect in society. దీన్ని బట్టి గురు శిష్య మధ్య ఉన్నటువంటి బాండ్ ఇస్ దట్ రిలేషన్షిప్, బాండ్ ఇస్ లవ్, అఫెక్షన్, teaching, learning, knowledge transforming, this everything is showing through the Guru Dakshina. This moreover, this is the satisfaction of the Shishya. అంటే గురువుకి తన సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్ ని నేను మీ నుండి చాలా పొందాను అనేటటువంటి దాన్ని మాటల్లో చెప్పడం కాకుండా వస్తువు రూపంలో చెప్పడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. దిస్ ఇస్ ద గురు దక్షిణ. ఓకే, అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ educational centers. At that Vedic period, during the Vedic period, actually in the early Vedic period, in the beginning of the Vedic period, there were no formal educational systems. Ante formal educational schools, colleges, like present, there were no particular educational centers. Gurus ashramas were gurukulas were the educational centers. There only the students were learned. After that, means in the later Vedic period, especially Buddhist educational system, the educational centers were emerging in the Indian society, in the Indian educational system. During the Vedic period, education was primarily impacted in Gurukulas. Formal universities emerged in later periods. Some prominent early Vedic learning centers laid the foundation for higher education, such as Takshashila, Nalanda, Mithila, Kashi. These were emerged during the later Vedic period. After that, they became very famous in the Buddhist period. Then Buddhist monks, Gautam Buddha, developed these educational centers. From these educational centers, most of the students are getting education and knowledge from foreign countries, from the students came from the foreign countries also to get the education in our educational centers. So it is about the Vedic education. These are the main features, main characteristics of the Vedic education. So this Vedic education is very very important concept in the perspectives education in DSC. In DSC compulsory 3-4 questions. More than 4 questions, at least 5 questions from this topic. So don't leave this question, don't leave this topic. Very carefully, concentratively you have to get the knowledge from this topic. Okay. So once again I am telling that చాలా మంది స్టూడెంట్స్ డిఎస్సి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్నటువంటి ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం స్టూడెంట్స్ రిక్వెస్ట్ మేరకు నేను వీడియోస్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఈ వీడియోస్ మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే ఈ వీడియోస్ ద్వారా మీరు నిజంగా ఒక బెనిఫిట్ అనేది పొందుతున్నట్లయితే నాకు కామెంట్ రూపంలో కంపల్సరీ తెలియజేయండి. మీకు ఇంకా అంటే వీటిని నేను ఇంకా ప్రొలాంగ్ చేయడానికి ఇంకా ఎక్కువగా వీడియోస్ నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్స్ అంటే దీంట్లో చాలా లెంతీ సిలబస్ అనేది ఉంది. అయినా సరే లెంతీ సిలబస్ని కూడా మనం ఈజీగా కవర్ చేసేద్దాము, సింపులైజ్ చేసి కవర్ చేసేద్దాం. సో అలా కవర్ చేయాలి, అన్ని టాపిక్ చెప్పాలి అంటే మీ కోఆపరేషన్, మీ కామెంట్స్, అసలు మీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ అనేవి నాకు తెలియాలి. సో ఈ వీడియో చూసిన వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఏదో ఒక రూపంలో మీ కామెంట్స్ని తెలియజేయండి, ఎంకరేజ్ చేయండి. సో వీలైనట్టు ఎక్కువ వీడియో చేసి మీకు ఈ డిఎస్సికి యూస్ఫుల్ అయ్యే విధంగా నేను ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాను. ఓకేనా? మీకు ఇంకా ఏదైనా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలి అన్నా, లేకపోతే దీనికి సంబంధించినటువంటి మెటీరియల్ కావాలి అన్నా స్క్రోల్ అవుతున్నటువంటి నెంబర్కి కాల్ చేయండి. మీకు కావాల్సినటువంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని, మెటీరియల్ని పొందండి. వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ ఈస్ దట్ మీరు కొత్తగా వీడియో చూస్తున్నట్టయితే సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి ఎవరైతే డిఎస్సికి ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్నారో వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా షేర్ చేయండి. వేదిక్ ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ సిస్టమ్ అనేది అటు ఆంధ్రాలో ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్న వాళ్ళకి, ఇటు తెలంగాణ ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్న వాళ్ళకి ఇద్దరికి కూడా యూస్ఫుల్ అయ్యేటటువంటి టాపిక్, అంటే కామన్ టాపిక్ అనమాట. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద వేదిక్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్.